Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for July 11th, 2021. 2021. It never ceases to amaze me how much news comes out for Transformers every single week. Lots of news for Transformers. There's a little bit of stuff going on with G.I. Joe, both good and bad, and a little bit going on with Star Wars. We're going to talk about this coming up. First off, some stuff that you can find at Show Z, and right now they have up for pre-order an Ultraman. This is made by 30 Fig Zero, and it's a 1/12 scale, meaning around 6 inches tall, for about $70. And this is going to be a premium figure, pretty much made out of plastic, and 6.3 inches tall. Includes the main figure and a bunch of hands. Ultraman is pretty cool, and I was mostly introduced to this back in the 90s, a video game on the Wonder Swan color. Also up at Show Z right now, they actually have the Moss Toys CT001 Skiff, their Bumblebee. This is a Cybertronian Bumblebee for $27.99, so $28. It is on sale right now. I don't know how long it's on sale for. I didn't even know they had this in stock, let alone on sale. Pretty cool. If you're interested in getting this, you might want to pick it up. It's a pretty good price. I don't think they're going to make any more of these. They also have the TransArt BWM05 Transmittal Optimus Prime. And the thing about this one is $2 down. It's going to be $155 total. But we've talked about this before, but it's up for pre-order and there's a price behind it. And this company does really good work with these Beast Force Transmittals. Last item from Show Z, and kind of getting into some news here, the G Creation GWD02C Blue Flash and IDW Blue Streak. $2 down, $95 total price. This is a nice looking figure if you're going for the IDW look of a Blue Streak. Really solid. It's constructed with both plastic and die-cast, 7.08 inches tall. It comes with a figure, 2 cannons, 2 blaster rifles, 2 batons, and a figure stand. Here it is in the alt mode, and the alt mode does look pretty clean. That is a nice looking alt mode right there. So if you're interested in getting this figure, you can pick it up right now with a pre-order. So going from the G Creation, it slides us right into the MMC, reformatted the R49 Mentis. It's an IDW version of Rung, and this color prototype is out right now with the scooter and everything. So it looks pretty good. It looks pretty interesting. Price and the release date have yet to be revealed, but you do get a look at the scooter here, and it does kind of show off that they're accurate to the comic. It's including 6 different faces, or was it 2, 4, 6, 7 faces? It's a lot of different faces right there, and then it also says something like 6 pairs of hands. I can't believe 6 extra pairs of hands. That's crazy amount of accessories, but you can see it right here. They are including quite a bit with this figure. So getting into a little bit of X-Transbots news, we're getting some pictures of the X-Transbots MX-14T flip-out youth version, which is more of the toy-esque look and looks pretty good. It's Wild Rider here, and this figure, it's going to wrap up, I think, the 3rd actual set that they make, so yeah, it looks good. I think the alt mode doesn't really make that big of a difference. It doesn't look that much different than the one I've got, so but still looks pretty good. They've also kind of let leak the packaging for the Motor Master, the Gravestone, the toy version, the T version right here. So that's what the packaging is going to look like. You can kind of see the figure there. And I'm not sure exactly when the trailer's coming. What seems to be the biggest news, even though it wasn't even really that big of news, but it is because Fans Toys, and they're putting out their Acoustic Wave and updating a lot of information, a lot of pictures, and then changing the name to Robot Paradise. So I did a whole video about that Friday, so you can check that one out and my thoughts on it. But really, in the end, it's not that big of a deal. A lot of people think there's more going on than there really is. Maybe there is, but it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. But you can check my other video out to get all that, my thoughts on it. You can get the cassettes separate because the cassettes are sold for around $120 separate. They are now sold out at Show Z, and at the time of that video, they were still up for pre-order. Now they're sold out. The figure itself that comes with a Frenzy is $250. A lot of people are in a frenzy about the price, right? $250 on this guy. So you are set back about $370 to get what you were getting from Takara at Toys R Us for $120 back in the day. But, you know, times are changing, and it's a sign of the times in 2021 for pricing. So we got a couple more pictures of what they're calling the pumpkin. This is the Studio Series or 01 Studio Cell version of Unicron, and this is the X Zeta. But what kind of gets me is I didn't realize how dark they were going to go with the darks. So the previous version sort of had a bluish in the lower legs and the majority of what you see on the planet mode there. Now it's like a dark gray, and I actually thought it would be a little bit lighter gray than that. So it's just interesting the color choices they make. I personally like this orange. With everything that's orange, I think it's the orange they should have gone with in the first place. But the other color choices I think are a little off. So it's starting to look like a different alternate version of Unicron. So anyhow, it still looks really good, and it gives you another chance to get this figure if you missed the first 2 or 3 runs, however many they've done so far. So Flames Toys come out with their Curie, Shattered Glass, Optimus Prime, and it looks good. We kind of know what we're getting from them, and we've seen these before. And this is going to have die cast in it, and all that stuff is going to be pretty premium. And it looks really good, and it's got the LEDs in it, and it's highly posable. Now, I'm really not sure why this is the pose they give us to show it all off, but there it is. That's the pose. We get to see some articulation and what it can do. And yeah, I thought it was kind of an interesting, weird pose. I would rather have seen the superhero pose. So Gijoe Toys is coming out with something interesting. It's kind of a King Kong that turns into a building. Well, it's a building that turns into King Kong. How's that fun? What's the fun in this? Anyway, this is kind of interesting. Actually, if you were to get this, you could probably buy 2, and you can have him climb himself. That would be interesting too. It's gonna be real small, so I don't think it's gonna be that big at all. Because they usually make little cassette type ones, but it's still an interesting concept and kind of a whole lot of fun. Sliding into a little bit of the Legends news, we're gonna warm it up with some Magic Square and some pictures of their Ultra Magnus 2.0 version. And so here he is in the box, and of course this is just the armor. So these pictures here side by side, I'm realizing that if this is truly Magic Square versus Magic Square, it's probably going to be equal size when I compare it to my McFan's Toys KO Oversize. So when I think about that, maybe this one already is the McFan's Toys. I don't know, but we'll find out. So that's something that kind of popped into my head when I saw this picture, and I got to thinking about it when I do my comparison. So it looks good. It's a little extra bulky because it is armor, but I like the fact it's armor. And in my opinion, this is the picture you're looking for. These are the droids you're looking for. And to see a group shot with a whole bunch of different figures and how it's going to look together, that is shaping up very nicely. That's a nice looking set. And I do like the size of Ultra Magnus. I think it's right for a Magic Square display. So one of the things about a combiner is you're going to constantly see updates to it with all the components. And it feels like every week there's more pictures that almost seem like the same. But here we go with more of an update to the Magic Square version of the Devastator, which personally I like it better because I think it's a little bulkier and beefier. This is the Legends scale Scrapper and the Mix Master. So they look good in bot mode, which if I get them, it's gonna be in combined mode. That's all I've ever seen. But I like that they put all the work into it to make it look good in all modes. Here they are in the alt modes, and the alt modes suffice. But I think the alt modes gotta look good because they basically are almost right there to be the limb mode. So they work. It gets the job done. So next up on the list, we have a new third-party company called Mini 1984, which that is such a fun name, right? Mini 1984. And it's a Legends scale G1 Blitzwing Gray prototype that they're putting out right now. I don't think they've actually got a name for it unless their name of the company is the name of the figure. But anyway, this is going to be a Legends scale Blitzwing, and it looks okay. It looks okay. I think that I've got issues with the bot mode, but let's look at the alt modes first here. So the tank does look pretty solid. It looks like a tank. You can tell it is a tank. It does have a bit of kibble on the back part there, but I can sort of live with it. It's not that bad, not that big of a deal. Looking at the alt mode and a jet mode, and the jet mode looks pretty good. I really think like anything that we see right now that we can pick apart will not look as bad when it gets some paint on it or the color prototypes come out. So I'm definitely giving this the benefit of the doubt before we go into it. So the only problem I see with this company is that we already saw the McFan's Toys, Mechanic Studio, or whatever they want to call themselves in this release, put out a figure that looks really good. And when you start breaking it down, looking at the lower legs, the big gaps the new one's going to have, this competitor has giant gaps in the back of the legs. Maybe it'll make the transformation easier, but that's kind of sealed up on this. Now, I don't have my Thunderbolt yet. It's on the way, and I can't wait to take a look at it, but it just looks so good. And then I look at this other one, and I'm just thinking, why are you going to go through the trouble when your competitor's already put a really good one out, and you're not going to knock them off or dethrone them? So it doesn't make sense. Like, go for a different character or try something different. So this is one of those weird things, though. They're trying to cannibalize each other, even a new company cannibalizing another one. So I fear for the longevity of this company. If they do stuff like this, I want another company around. I want them to succeed. I just think if they go the route of not beating what's already out there, they're going to get discouraged. Okay, getting into some mainline stuff here, and still sort of in a third-party realm. So DNA Designs is making the DK25 Gear Master Upgrade Kit for not just one, not two, four figures in one. So I've criticized these kits in the past that they do a kit here and a kit there, and before you know it, you're adding up to some crazy amounts of money. I don't have the price on this one just yet, but 4-in-1, I've said we should have done this before from the get-go, 4-in-1, and I like the idea of it. Maybe I don't like exactly which ones these are. Maybe I'd like a 4-in-1 all-filler kit or an all-inclusive kit, but they're going in the right direction, so I'm going to commend them on this. So first of all, you get 4 figures, which is the Studio Series Starscream, but see, it's not really the same Studio Series as Jazz, Hot Rod, and Cup. So you are kind of a little out there. I don't think everybody that buys the 86 Studio Series is going to buy the Starscream, so that's kind of one of those, maybe you won't use those parts. Anyhow, you do get some upgrade kits for Starscream here with an upgrade with some hands on it, and I'm not sure if you get an extra gun or two with it, so I don't know so much. I didn't get this Starscream, so I don't know if that's the gun that comes with it or not. But anyway, it's kind of an interesting little update there. Now, I do know this is interesting. This is actually really cool if you like to make dioramas. And you're actually going to get 4 plugs that plug into the arms and the legs, and it looks like it's been blown apart. And then you get these what looks like oil spill or energon spill on the ground. Really, really cool idea. I don't know where they came up with this. They also show you store it all. It all stores away. That is awesome. That is really cool. I like this. I mean, I like this idea. You get the Hot Rod fishing pole. You get a little Daniel figure, which I guess he kind of suffers the same problem that some of the other figures that we're getting with like Grimlock. He's just in one pose, in one position. But it's still cool he did it. It's a little foreign piece of plastic with some paint on it. But they can both do that, reenact that fishing scene. And like, how else are you going to store your Hot Rod on your shelf? What's that, in the box? You store your Hot Rod in the box? Okay. So then you also get some parts for your Jazz here. And so you get upgrade kits with speakers and filler pieces, gaps. And you get a grappling hook so he can hang there. And you can upgrade the back part of the legs, clean it up a bit. So it's pretty cool. It's some good stuff that they're doing right here. And then here it is in alt mode. It also works in alt mode with those speakers and all that. So they're putting a lot of thought and time and effort into a DNA DK25. Shockwave's Lab is coming out with a launcher for the Arc, the Titan class Arc, which is very interesting. And it's interesting, how does Shockwave's Lab already have the Arc on hand? Anyway, we won't ask those questions. So they've had it long enough to develop the kit here, and it also transforms itself, and it rolls, and you can have it sideways and pivot it, and do a few more things with it, but won't spend too much more on that. So we have a premium series Ultra Magnus that's coming from Takara, and so what they basically call this premium finish for the War for Cybertron Ultra Magnus. They also are doing a Megatron, but the thing about this is that I just don't think this looks premium. I would have expected premium, like kind of a shiny paint. I would think a cleaner look to it, but they're kind of going back to Siege with this, and changing the colors quite a bit. So I don't know. Some people will love this, and I guarantee it. But I kind of wanted to get away from all that smudge stuff. And here is the alt mode. One thing I'm going to give this set is that it does look completely different color-wise than what we've gotten in the past. But I kind of think we want to go for perfection in a premium finish. So not this one. So we've got a premium finish version of Megatron here. And that's another thing is I don't think that these pictures really show the finish at all. This really feels like renders. So it's really going to be hard to tell until you get the in-hand kind of version there, the in-hand pictures from it when it shows up. And this is really a stage-looking photo. Cannot tell at all how premium the finish is. Here's the alt mode, and you don't see it much better in this either. Does feel a lot like just renders and not the real product. So I'm interested, really, seriously, how this looks and does it have a nice sheen on that silver. So we've already seen a couple of versions of Galvatron coming out, and now we're getting a Generation Select Galvatron, and it's a toy version. So it's kind of a cool idea, a cool concept. And if you had the toy, this is the colors that you remember from your childhood. They went down to the barrel having speckles in the barrel, but yes, it's already up for pre-order, $52.99. You can get it pretty much everywhere. It's not exclusive or anything. Generation Select, I think it used to be as exclusive or something. They were trying to make it exclusive, but it's not exclusive at all right now, except you got to order it online mostly. So some stuff that's showing up in both my neck of the woods and also showing up around the US is this next wave of the War for Cybertron Netflix series, the Voyager class ones, these $40 ones that also include smaller figures like a core class. Now you get the Seeker and you get the Optimus Primal, and the thing about it is that every one of these I've seen show up, and I've seen them at 2 different Walmarts. The boxes are just beat, and I don't plan on opening mine, so I passed on all of them because the boxes are beat. The way they package it, it's really hard to get one of these in good shape, especially in the Voyager scale, the way they package such thin cardboard protecting it. So I never picked one up. But anyway, if you're in for it, and if you're an opener, jump on it, I guess. There's also reports of the next Dinobot Slag starting to show up, and that's kind of Slug. Anyway, I'm kind of excited for that one too. I really want to build out a Dinobot set with these, a low price compared to going with like $200 ones in the Masterpiece. These look pretty good, just a little bit smaller than the Masterpiece, a little bit less of a finish, but for a quarter of the price, I think it's great. So I'm going to be in on these, and I can't wait to get mine. So this is kind of interesting. A lot of people are talking about this possibly being like an SDCC kind of a deal or some sort of a con exclusive, although it doesn't say it anywhere. But this picture surfaced of the War for Cybertron Beast Wars in Generation 1 2-pack. And what it is a Beast Wars Ravage and a G1 Ravage cassette, which is ingenious. It's just ingenious. That's so cool. I mean, they've recently released that Ravage cassette in a Walmart exclusive 2-pack. In the actual vintage style packaging, so they've got the mold handy, real easy to make, just crank them all out and put it in the set. Really a good idea though, and I think it's kind of cool. So here's the back of the packaging, kind of get a little background of Beast Wars world there, so that looks kind of cool. And I'm a Ravage fan, so it's going to be hard for me to turn this down, even though I'm not 100% into the Beast Wars. I do like it. We're also getting in-hand pictures already, like the rumored set appears and now we get rumored in-hand pictures. I mean, that's seriously a picture right there. So that's what it looks like in his alt mode, looking pretty cool. But all we get is the back, which is fine. This is what it looks like in the back compared to Cheetor. And looking at how much of this is the shared design from Cheetor, which I don't mind, and it's really cool how they can make it look so much different and just change out a few parts. Speaking of more rumored stuff going on here, so we've got this, I don't know really anything about this, other than what's on the package. Don't know where it's going to show up, or where we're going to see it first, or next, or if it's an exclusive. And so a lot of interesting information here, but we're going to get a Nemesis Primal, a Fangry, and it says Bumblebee. Now, is it Jumper or is it Bumble Jumper? Or like looking at this, analyzing which one that really is, because it's not Bumblebee, it's something different. So it's got kind of a Cliff Jumper mold to it. And then you look at the Black Arachnia in there, is a repainted Black Arachnia. So really interesting how this is so different. I kind of have a feeling this might be a Target thing, but I don't know yet. We'll probably get more information soon. And then here we go right here with the back of it, so you can get a little bit better look at the pictures and how it looks and everything like that. Kind of cool. What a crazy mix of multiple eras of Transformers in one box. Okay, so we have gotten some pictures and trailers and stuff going on with the new War for Cybertron Netflix series Kingdom, and it's going to air or be up to binge, I believe, on the 29th of July. So that's coming up pretty soon, here in about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. And the trailer's kind of fun and exciting. Looks like it's going to be an interesting little mix of G1 and Beast Wars. And I'm kind of curious how they pull that off and how it works out. But it seems like it's going to be pretty interesting. They got us a couple pictures to have a look here and see what's going on. So it'd be nice to finish this series. Okay, so getting into some other news here, we've got G.I. Joe, and this was a crazy event that happened with Target. And there's a lot of stuff going on, so I'm going to go through it real fast. And last week, they were supposed to have put up reorders or reissues for the G.I. Joe Classified, the Cobra Island figures from Target that sell out fast and are hard to get. And so day one, everybody's at their computer or their phone at 8 in the morning waiting for them to put them up, and they put up Legos. And I was sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, there's like a whole month of this, and you have no idea when you can order what you need to order. This is frustrating. And I gotta tell you that I actually thought for a minute, I think I'm just gonna quit the line, because they're screwing me around and I didn't like it. So we got official word the next day that they were gonna have all of them up the next day. So I was there the next day, they were all up, and I put one of each in my cart, and it said that nothing's in my cart. And I did it over and over and over. I actually have my wife doing the same thing, and she couldn't order anything. So another day of fail. So then the third day, we could actually order some stuff, but it took a half an hour from the time you clicked to put it in your cart till it actually went into your cart. So there are a lot of problems here. This was a terrible way to do it, but as of now, you could still order the Baroness. You can go in and pre-order the Baroness. The Viper sold, like pretty much everything's sold out. The Viper itself says check back on the 30th. They're going to have more stuff. I anticipate, like they're doing with the Trooper, and the Trooper's readily available. The Cobra Island one. You can get that right now. But they're going to do the same thing with Viper. And I predicted this a while back. That's why I didn't pay $90 for a Viper. I never saw one in a Target, and I never will. I'll just get it online. So that's how you get your Viper. Okay, so Super 7 has some G.I. Joe stuff going on here. I have to tell you that nobody really even knows what's going to happen. This is one of those reveals that's a teaser, and you don't know what's going on. And everyone's trying to guess and what's going to happen with this. I'm thinking if they do an Ultimates line and it's bigger and it's more $50 a piece, I don't know. I'm not the guy that gets the Mezco stuff. I'm certainly not wanting to get some $50 Joes and you need to buy 100 of them. So I don't know where Super 7's going with this. So it's interesting to see what happens. I'll probably just watch it from afar. I'm not paying $50 a figure for some Joes. So in some Star Wars news, and we actually got Star Wars news this week, so it's pretty interesting. So we're getting this 50th anniversary tribute version of the Power of the Force 2. Now, this cinema scene was a cinema scene of 3.75-inch figures, and I believe it was a Walmart exclusive, and it's still pretty easy to get, pretty cheap. It's very, very common, but they're remaking it in this line, and they're including a cantina with it. I really think this is cool that they're including the cantina. Price-wise, it's $105. So you add it all up, $20, $40, $60 a figure, $60 worth of figures. plus the price hike, $70 worth of figures, and then $35 for a Cantina. But it's only half a bar. I think it's actually closer to a quarter of a bar. But anyway, it gives you something there to look like you're at the Cantina if you want to put that in your display. And really, who's really going to need 4 or 5 of these together? But you can connect them and make a bigger bar if you want, a bigger Cantina scene if you'd like. That's something that you can do if you want to. But I don't know if you want to put $400 into a Cantina scene. Of a vintage collection, Emperor and Throne Room, and so we've seen this before. There are throne rooms available of Emperor and Throne Room from the Power of the Force 2 era, and that was yet another cinema scene. So that's available, but it doesn't have the vintage collection treatment where you can have the soft goods, where you're going to have the posability of the figure, and whatever else they're going to throw into this. So it's pretty interesting to see. And here's a picture of the box for it. So be pretty interesting to see for $32 for a vintage collection. I don't think it's that bad, considering you're getting all that you're getting with it. And you're getting a Black Series Trapper Wolf X-Wing pilot from The Mandalorian, and this immortalizes Dave Filoni's character in plastic form in slipcase packaging style, similar to the exclusive the Armor and the Cad Bane figure releases, and sadly no cowboy hat is included. So this is $30. All these last 3 are available soon at Hasbro Pulse, so we don't have a date just yet. They're going to release the date. This is kind of teasers for what's coming. Another codename rumor coming up with Periwinkle for a Target exclusive, and this is the vintage collection, so excited about that. Now, maybe it's not going to be a Target exclusive, they just found it in the Target computer, but still, any ideas what a Periwinkle character is in the Star Wars world? So I haven't really talked about the Bad Batch lately, and it started strong, was a really solid series. I still enjoy every episode, but feedback I'm getting is that we're getting a lot of filler episodes right now before anything major happens, and they're trying to lay a few seeds to build up to something bigger that's going to happen at the end of the season. But it is a little lackluster in the last couple of episodes. I still enjoy it. I still enjoy just watching stuff that's in the Star Wars universe and things that are going on. So I think it's going to be a strong, strong ending to the series. If you're starting to think that it's just getting boring, then look forward to a strong ending. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. What else is going on out there that I seem to have missed? Like and subscribe. Our Dream Hanger out.